Probably should have muted you, shouldn't I?
I muted myself.
Welcome to the Out There channel, stream 139. Testing out the new setup here with the video going now finally to video guests. So I'll just queue up some music and check some things here with the audio and do the intro business. There we go. Everybody start dancing. Ooh, picked up my bit. Sounds groovy in that music. Okay, anyway. Hope we're not. It's looking all good here. Hello. Good to be back. Oh, music prompts. So I don't know who's going to be joining us. We've got John on the line at the moment. Let's just see if this works.
Absolutely. It must work. It must work.
Good to be back. That's a bit slow kicking off though. Good to be back. Okay, we've probably got a few things to cover today. Is that paused? Yes. Okay, desktop. I suppose you monitored it. Did it sound all right?
Yes, it did, actually.
Yep. So we got John on video at the moment. Well, he's not actually on video, but if he wants to come on video and say beep peekaboo, he can. But he's seeing me live as I'm doing it now. So he doesn't have to watch YouTube like other people, and he can talk in real time with me because YouTube's always 30 seconds behind. So yeah, looks like it's going all right from what I can see here, John. So we got a Discord group, as you know. John's pumped it down the side there. We're more than just a UFO group. We're really a family. Really, we're sort of family of friends that talk to each other every day. You know, our personal feelings and whatnot, and so we get to know each other pretty well. So yeah, if you're feeling a bit down or want someone to talk to, doesn't have to be about UFOs. Just come and join our community here on Out There channel. We've got a few extra people joining, which I'll go over. Charmaine, if she's out there. Denver, I think it was. Welcome to the Out There channel Discord. I was hoping she was going to come on and talk about her UFO stories. But you never know. Friday is out, of course. I've got to go to an eye appointment. So the next one will be Sunday, my time, which will be Saturday, American time. So hopefully we'll get more people joining then. That's obviously because it's a weekend. So what's the time over there at the moment in California side of things there?
Let's see. It's 8 and 9 here. They spring forward. They should be at the same time, 8 o'clock right now.
8 o'clock over there in the evening at the moment. So this is our Discord channel here. As you can see, it's pretty much like a social board where people can post things. and also talk on voice channels. So we've got various rooms set up where if you want to go and talk about paranormal, and you can go into a paranormal voice room, or you want to talk about UFOs, or you want to just talk generally. We've got a mothership and a lobby. Lobby is for everybody, even ones that haven't been approved yet, and mothership is for everyone that's sort of hardcore UFO people that's on here every day. So at the moment we're in live room down here. Only people that are approved to come on and talk get to go onto the live room. So at the moment, that's just me and John at the moment. So I'll just minimize that.
No, I think you explained that all beautifully. Well done.
There is a tutorial there if you're not sure about how to use Discord. The more you use it, the easier it's. Of course, it helps if you're on Wi-Fi, house Wi-Fi, or cable, because then you get better quality. You don't get breakouts as much. Although we did have some technical problems, didn't we, there, John, with the sound breaking out. Voice connected. If that's all green, that's normally pretty good. But we've been getting yellow and red. I think it depends how it gets. I think they must have millions and millions of people using it for gaming and all that sort of stuff out there at the moment. But when we do the tests early in the morning, it's probably everybody's not around then. So yeah, it can be a bit touch and go at times, and you just can disconnect and reconnect again. Sometimes it improves the quality of the connection again.
Oh, you know what? It's not so much it's easier. It's got far more options.
Yeah.
Far and away above Hangouts, definitely.
The only thing it lacks is video rooms, but that could come in the future. At the moment, you can only do video on a personal account. But when you join Discord, you do get a personal account, of course, but like on Facebook, like you get a personal account. And then you get the server rooms, which is all the groups that you want to join. So out there, channel is like a group, but you can join other groups there on paranormal. I think there's thousands of them in there. They use it for gaming as well. Lots of groups for gaming. And yeah, it's all a lot of fun, really. It's good to be able to just jump in there and talk to people without having to worry about phones, and you can just be have it on voice, and while you're doing other things on the laptop, and just listening in and talking and adding your point of view to things. It's all good fun, really, on Discord. I just really like it. We connect every day, don't we, John?
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, so it's like it's like I don't know how you explain it, really. It's really a good community that we're sort of gradually building there of good people. So come and have your say, really. And if you're feeling a bit depressed or down, it's a good place to come and talk about your pain. And we all got pain. We suffer from pain every day, most of us. We all got sort of problems. But you got to remember, seize the day. You never know your last day, which brings me to my first topic. Which is Stanton Friedman, of course. He passed away yesterday, or when I was sleeping, probably, in Canada. So we got this report through here. Poor old Stanton, famed UFO researcher, dead at 84. That's not a bad age, though. But it sucks that we lose another UFO people. We've lost quite a few in the recent years, haven't we? Key people, Dr. Lear.
Oh God,
yeah,
the
Dr.
good ones just.
Sorry, John, you cut out then.
Yeah, we seem to lose the good ones. The crap ones stick around.
Well, I'm just trying to think of all the people that have passed away. My memory's pretty bad. There's Dr. Lear. Who else? It's got to be more than that.
Oh, there was.
Art Bell. Art Bell was another one. Pretty sure there was more than that. Wasn't there that guy from Roswell? What's his name? Marcel. Didn't he die recently too?
Oh God, I don't remember, to be quite honest.
I know it's terrible getting old, isn't it? So we're only in our
Yeah,
we're only in our 50s, and really our minds are going. But yeah, what I don't think it actually tells us how he died. I think it probably would have been from old age or heart attack, by the sounds of it. He always looked like
right.
he was in good health to me. I don't remember seeing him coughing and talking about his health, because uh,
No, he kept
he
going.
definitely liked to talk, didn't he? He liked to talk about himself. So we did a couple of lives on him, talking about his work history and what he really did, because no one seems to actually give us much information there. But definitely was a good researcher, and he helped to expose Bob Lazar, and still people don't believe it, I guess, that Bob is lying. But I think Stanton is pretty much sure on that, that he was. Once you caught in one lie, how can you trust anything else that's said?
Yep.
And Cool Bell movie had plenty of chance to come clean, didn't it? You could have said, yeah, I didn't go. It was all made up. He could have come clean. I don't believe anyone that's gone to university doesn't have some sort of paperwork, or a photograph, or something, a student photo or yearbook or something, Even if he snuck into the university and wasn't actually a paid member, because you can sneak into you can sneak into the back in universities and not get noticed, especially if it's first year classes. Anyway, it gets smaller and smaller as the years go on. So, what does it say here? It's a big gap there. Must be a ad there. So let's see if we can get the talker working, so I don't have to read it all out. We get the Mick West speech program.
Stanton Friedman.
Staunton. I love it. That was really upper class, wasn't it? Okay, let's go down here. Let's see how it reads it. What's that bit there? Anyway, it doesn't matter. It'll probably read out an ad, probably.
Probably.
Stanton Friedman, the famed UFO researcher based in Fredericton, has died. Friedman was returning from a speaking engagement in Columbus, Ohio, when he died suddenly at the Toronto Pearson Airport on Monday night, according to his family. He was 84. A nuclear physicist by training, Friedman had devoted his life to researching and investigating UFOs since the late 1960s. He was credited with bringing the 1947 Roswell incident, the famous incident that gave rise to theories about UFOs and a US military cover, back into the mainstream conversation. Canadian has devoted life to proving existence of alien life. Friedman officially retired last year, but still booked speaking engagements because he loved talking about UFOs, said his daughter, Melissa Friedman, who works for CBC News. Dad was curious about anything he didn't know about. He was always asking questions about how things worked.
So what's that say
Brother,
there? Sorry, John.
that's his son-in-law. He only had one daughter, apparently.
You're Krypton there again for some reason.
Uh,
Second from the right, posing in the photograph, Marion. Far right, his daughter Melissa Friedman and her husband David Parsons. Okay. His daughter Melissa and her husband. Okay, so it's her husband, not.
yes, that is correct.
This ain't scrolling for some reason. Okay, it's working now. So what's it saying here? So Dr. Lear used to be a bit of an organist player. Organ player. Sounds kind of rude, really. And I'm not sure if he was a musician by any chance. Look, it's amazing how talented UFO people generally are. Artists and musicians, coders, website designers, all sorts of things.
Other skill sets out there.
I think it's rare for someone to stay so engaged and curious and open-minded for a life that's that long. She remembered her father as encouraging, proud and caring, and said she was fortunate to have one last visit a week ago in Nova Scotia. Single quote, he did his homework. Friedman was an accomplished writer, publishing dozens of papers about UFOs and writing or co-writing several books. 3 of those books were written in tandem with Kathleen Martin. He will be greatly missed, Martin, a UFO researcher, said in an interview from Florida.
And so, picture of him and the wife trying to lift the laughter curtain. Yeah, he was a bit of a joker, wasn't he?
Trying to lift the laughter curtain in a 2011 interview with CBC News, Friedman said most people agree with him once they hear the evidence. Despite the false claims of a small group of nasty, noisy negativists, most people accept that reality even though they think most others don't, he said. I check my audiences and find at the end of my lecture that about 10% of the attendees have had a sighting. But 90% didn't report it because of a fear of ridicule. I am trying to lift the laughter curtain.
Loving it, UFO people. Yeah. A few comments there already. I suppose people are only just finding out about it now. Okay, so what's the last bit now?
His work was celebrated in New Brunswick, and the city of Fredericton declared August the 27th, 2007, Stanton Friedman Day. Friedman, who was born in New Jersey and had dual citizenship, lived in Fredericton with his wife of 44 years, Marilyn, mother to Melissa Friedman. He also had 3 children from a previous marriage.
Oh, did he?
Funeral arrangements have yet to be made.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that part.
Yeah.
Whoop.
It's like Earl Grey. He's got, what, 4 ex-wives, is it? Or 3 ex-wives? These guys like to marry. So I wonder what happened to his first marriage then.
I don't know.
See, there's a lot we don't know about Stanton still. That was my whole point last time. We need to know more about him. So there you go. Rest in peace, Stan.
Hi guys, my name is Susie Dawson. I'm a journalist and activist from Auckland, New Zealand.
Okay. That's one I want to come to, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do that at the moment. Okay. So yeah, last time we were talking about this case here from Denver, and there was a synchronicity that happened, John? Remember, John went off and talked to someone that was joining Discord, and I wasn't doing this case at the time. I was doing another case, and I started doing this one. Apparently, it turns out the person that submitted this MUFON case didn't know I was analyzing it at the time that she was joining Discord and talking to John. And that's Charmaine, wasn't it, Robert? So
That's
and she did this one here with what I said looks like a fairly large type helium balloon that may be a pentagon shape. So yeah, it did go on Discord. She was posting some images. I don't know if I can jump onto the lobby, can I? Let's have a look. Up here in the lobby. She was posting the same images, wasn't she? Where is it? So I thought it was one of these type balloons, maybe. It could be one of these large character balloons as well. Might have that same sort of hexagon or pentagon shape. And you can see there, that one looks more like a hexagon squashed balloon. And this one looked more like a pentagon-like shape. So it's a bit hard to tell because the pixels weren't there. But they can get quite big, those balloons. But see, you can see here's images that she was sending from her phone, which were on the MUFON report. She said she did submit it and wasn't sure if it got there. So, yeah, quite interesting. That's what we find in the UFO community. We have like this synchronicity that happens where you come out with the same thing at the time.
Well, she did let me know today that MUFON wants to interview her
Right.
about the photos and videos that she sent them.
I didn't
I'm
see.
like, yeah, that's it.
I didn't see any videos from her. Are you there? You cut out.
No, I'm there. Why?
You cut out on the end there. I just wonder what happened. So yeah, I didn't see any videos that she sent to me. I thought she was going to upload it to Google Drive and give us a link to it. Obviously, she hasn't done that. I think she's not that computer savvy.
She isn't.
So it takes people a bit longer to understand. And of course, she's not on an internet connection like most of us. She's on 3G or something, which doesn't help. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what MUFON closer as, whether they agree with me. But yeah, let's see. So there's obviously a big white balloon of some kind. It could be like a character balloon that's got the arms out the side of a neck, whatever it be. I don't know. Snowman, maybe. I don't know. I didn't look like a snowman. Character balloon. Right. Tom's talking to his cat again. Okay.
Poor thing. Standing up here trying to breathe. I know he's getting ready to sneeze on me. I can just feel it. God.
Let's see. Well, this seeing if there was some large character balloons. And
okay, this isn't gonna work. I've got to turn on the air conditioner. I'm going to be right back. I'm boiling.
And it's not too cold here at the moment, so it's kind of even temperature, I'd call it. Yes, so it's a bit hard to find balloon that would make that kind of shape, but there's probably something else out there that does make that kind of hexagon or shape.
There we go. Take that, cat.
All these different party balloons you get. But she said it was far away, but these balloons can get quite big. They can get big as a human, some of them. And it might have been an advertising balloon. It could have been even an advertising balloon that was a hexagon shape that got broken away from a business. And they're quite large. But because of the video, the photo quality on that particular one, we didn't spend too much time on it. She didn't actually say which way the wind was going either, and that makes a big difference. That's the problem with balloons. Always, when you film, always make a note of which way the wind's going, because it really does help. So, yeah, just can't pin what type of balloon it is, really, but it's of a hexagon, pentagon shape. And I'm not too sure which way it was blowing, or going, I should say, in the wind. And of course, the picture's around the wrong way here. I think it was there. She reckons it's 10 kilometers away, but I don't think it's that far away, actually. But yeah, it'd be good to see what MUFON have to say about that one.
Yeah, well,
I'll just unpin it. Close tab, unpin. Where's unpin? Okay. We'll come back to that one. Okay, so I added some more links here. The weather page. So I want to add some images to this while we're here. So cloud, maybe cloud UFO. Want to add a better image to that tab. Oh, that's pretty cool. UFOs, clouds. Oh, there's some good ones here.
Yeah, there are.
Are you seeing this in real time?
Yep, I am indeed.
Yeah. So which one you reckon look good for fun now? That one here, probably.
That one is pretty cool. There's a couple of good ones in there.
That's
oh,
a
that's
good one.
awesome.
Lexi Cooler. How'd you say that word? Eh?
What is a lenticular cloud?
Lenticular, that's how you say it.
Correct.
Save image. Which we were talking about last time too, wasn't it? From security. Oddly enough.
Yeah. This lenticular cloud over the mountain.
Right. Hopefully your audio is working all right there, John, because you seem to be clipping off the end still. I don't understand why. Because it wasn't doing that last night. So this has got a funny ending on it. So can we actually use it as a question? That one's giving us a problem. Mothership. So people say they're cloaked UFOs, right? But when you think about it, all you have to do is watch a video of it and see how it breaks up. And if the cloud was moving around in a solid mass like that, you could say it was something else going on, like a cloaked system. But yeah, it's still coming up with JPEG something rather. I bet that doesn't work. I don't think we can use that one. That's a shame. Yeah, we'll just keep looking for another one then. Was that the same one? Oh, that one will do probably. Is that a JPEG? JPEG, yeah, that one will work. So I thought we might have a few people come on, like Shemaine, I mean, and talk about their stories. But looks like it's me and you again, only, John. So maybe it will happen. Maybe it'll happen Sunday or Saturday your time. There we go. That's better, isn't it? And we need to change the name there to weather. The weather page. Let's see. Weather Underground, it's called. It's one of our tools that we use to see which way the wind was going. Night sky map. What's that one? Oh, that was looking at the moon, rising and setting. So we want to edit that one too at some stage. Sky map. So I just want to do that one as well. Moon, horizon. I suppose you could do blood moon or something. That look good. Blood moon.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. That one over the water. That one's pretty good. Doesn't look like a moon though, does it?
Someone's
Fiery.
photoshopped the bejesus out of that thing.
That one's pretty good. We just do that one maybe.
Wow.
All the phases on the moon and colors. Save image.
Oh, that's cool.
Hopefully your volume's going good today, John. Have you checked to see?
Well, I hope it is too.
Have you checked it?
We never know until the duck.
Yeah.
Well, and let me
save link, save image. Did I mute the audio?
Okay.
I almost forgot.
Mute mine.
What's going on here? I'm saying save image, aren't I? And it's coming up full web page for some reason. Save image. Should be that one. No, it's coming up with a web page. Looks like another one we can't get. How about this one here? That one might do. That one's not too bad.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
Yeah, that one looks pretty good.
Let's see if we can save it as a JPEG or something. Yep, we can. So we use that one.
See, I just went ahead and I muted myself. Coming through really good on the play.
Okay. It might be just on our side of things that it's sort of clipping.
God, let's hope so.
Image upload. There we go. And save it. So there we go. We've got moon map, weather, and intermission music. So we need something for that. So, which is Jared's music. So we can play it in the background while it's doing it, I suppose. Open a new tab. We haven't played it for a while. Let's see if it plays. It's taking a wee while to load it.
You are listening to the Out There channel.
Looks like it's working. It's got the old timetable though. We might have to re-edit that, or just ignore it, I suppose. Hey there, John, you're banging around.
Yeah, sorry, kid.
Okay, we're looking for music. Keyboard, maybe.
Searching for the truth behind the UFO phenomena.
That one's pretty cool. Is the music coming out all right there, John?
Yeah, it sounds great.
Indication. Yeah, I'm talking about on YouTube though. Sounds good.
Yep.
Cool. Oh, it's relaxing. You reckon Jared's put subliminal messages in it?
He's a pretty crafty guy.
So we can add more bookmarks to this by going here and increasing it to 16. Then we've got 4 empty ones at the bottom. Gradually building up our tool list here. What else could we add to it though? There's obviously a few in the bookmarks. Nothing's popping out. I'm pretty sure we had a few more things that we had.
You are listening to the Out There channel.
From maybe. Yeah, probably that one. Just copy that. Right in there.
Whoops. Let's say.
Something strange happened, isn't it? There we go, I've got RiP on there. There's bound to be lots of other ones. There was something to do with cameras. Search database. What's that one there? Time saying converter.
Welcome to the Out There channel.
Well, that'll do for time being. Okay, so yeah, that's working pretty good there. So now I've added my Twitter there too, down here. Last time I was searching for it. So click on there. Should open that up. There it goes. And did you like that timetable there, John? Retweet it, the new timetable. I think
Yes.
it doesn't show that. I think A51 did. I think that's not you though. It only shows one. I asked everybody to retweet it and like it. Yeah, so we got some bits to go over. I'm not sure if I need to have that open though. Okay, where do we begin? What was that one there? All right. Maybe we were talking about accelerators and CERN. I started looking more into the information to see if I was correct, whether they fired a proton at atoms, and apparently they do. And oh yeah, I'm going to talk about that as well. This is the moment of truth. Oh, what the hell's going on here?
What happened?
What's that auto start when you click into a tab? You know, I got it here, autoplay off. It shouldn't autoplay like that. So yeah, we're going to come back and talk about that show. Talk about here as well. Michael Shermer as well. Travis Walton. And also Gimbal video and some other stuff that comes out here. So what was the first thing? Accelerators. So yeah, I asked my mate about the CERN accelerators, what his opinion on it was, and I thought I'd just read it out, his comment here. It's quite funny. You know, he's not into this Big Bang creation science, as he calls it. And I asked him, so LHC at CERN, did they just smash protons together? I had thought they fired a sheet, fired at a sheet of gold fall, but maybe mistaken. And he said both, but that's not the case I've read so far. Back in the early days, Rutherford used the gold sheets and used alpha particles to see how the particles scattered. So they knew that there was holes between the atoms. So basically what he said here, though, CERN is a circular collider, Swiss Austria Alpine border, 22 kilometers long, 2.5 kilometer small loop. So it's a small loop inside a big loop. A small loop is used for exotic energy particles creation and circulation, protons, electrons, positrons, etc. Target area hall is a big room, 30 meters high and wide and 70 meters long, just past junction of the loops. What does he say at the end there? This room is filled with sensors, layers of them like a onion, measuring all the electromagnetic energy, particles and waveforms. Lots of experiments are performed at variety of power levels, but the main quest is to find God particles from creation day, and he's put retards at the end. So yeah, that's how he thinks. Searching for the God particle is retard scientists. Obviously mixing religion in with science again. So yeah, I said to him he's got to come on live sometime. He's quantum, they're like alien scientist, obviously. Right, so anyway, some other research on it. So there's a lot of blurb. I think it's here somewhere. Talking about the atoms they use for experiments. Whereabouts is it? Unfortunately, it doesn't keep. I think it's here. I'll just read out that bit there. What's happened? Okay.
What are the characteristics of an accelerator? The type of particles, the energy of the collisions and the luminosity are among the important characteristics of an accelerator. An accelerator can circulate a lot of different particles, provided that they have an electric charge so that they can be accelerated with an electromagnetic field. The CERN accelerator complex accelerates protons, but also nuclei of ionized atoms, ions, such as the nuclei of lead, argon or xenon atoms. Some LHC runs are thus dedicated to lead-ion collisions. The isolde facility accelerates beams of exotic nuclei for nuclear physics studies. The energy of a particle is measured in electron volts. 1 electron volt is the energy gained by an electron that accelerates through a 1-volt electrical field. As they race around the LHC, the protons acquire an energy of 6.5 million electron volts, known as 6.5 tera electron volts or TeV. It is the highest energy reached by an accelerator, but in everyday terms, this is a ridiculously tiny energy. Roughly the energy of a safety pin dropped from a height of just 2 centimeters. But an accelerator concentrates that energy at the infinitesimal scale to obtain very high concentrations of energy close to those that existed just after the Big Bang. Luminosity is a key indicator of an accelerator's performance. It indicates the number of potential collisions per surface unit over a given period of time. The instantaneous luminosity is expressed in centimeters 2 seconds-1, and the integrated luminosity, corresponding to the number of collisions that can occur over a given period, is measured in inverse femtobarn. 1 inverse femtobarn corresponds to 100 millions potential collisions. What is luminosity? Why 13 TeV? What type of accelerators are at CERN? CERN operates a complex of 8 accelerators and 2 decelerators. These accelerators supply experiments or are used as injectors, accelerating particles for larger accelerators. Some, such as the proton synchrotron (PS) or superproton synchrotron (SPS), do both at once, preparing particles for experiment.
So I'll just pause it there. I think I selected more than I wanted to read there. So where is this section again? I had it highlighted before I moved it. So it was talking about CERN accelerator complex accelerates protons, but also nuclei of ionized atoms or ions, such as nuclei of lead, argon, and xenon atoms. So there you go. So runs dedicated to lead ion collisions. So that makes sense. So heavy element, I suppose, crash a proton into it, see what bits and pieces fly off. So I said to you, it's like crashing 2 cars together and trying to figure out all the bits and pieces on the road, what they were used for or what they're used for on the car. So you can imagine you get a bit of a left blinker and a bit of a right blinker, and you try and join them together. So yeah, I think it's well, my mate said they talked about Big Bang on there, so he'd say retards. So yeah, I'll just close that down. So it talked about let's see, it talked about antimatter or antiproton. Now remember I said to you of its regular spin and or spin probably in the opposite direction. So to them, they would see that as an antiproton. And they see it only for microseconds, you know. It doesn't last very long. But sometimes they can capture these things in a field and collect it. They collect antimatter, antiprotons or whatever. So, you know, remember that chart we're looking at, what's his name? Richard Feynman. Well, where it sort of has a positron enters, it loses energy in the form of light, a photon, and then it turns back into electron. Positron to electron, loses light, and the light then is absorbed into a electron, and then it turns back into a positron. That's what the chart was showing us. And we were trying to find a layperson's explanation for it. So
yeah, exactly.
So that's what I'm saying. It's losing energy, so it changes its spin, changes its internal spin of energy. So when you're talking about positive and negative charge, you know, you're saying it tracks to the opposite charge, or it repels from the opposite charge. But it really, we're talking about electromagnetic fields. even at the microscopic levels, nano net levels. So yeah, maybe they're looking for the wrong thing. Maybe they're understanding the wrong thing, is what I'm saying.
It's very well. Yep.
Yeah, what did you say, John?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I agree with that.
Yeah. So everyone's sort of wrapped up in the quantum mechanics side of things, and yeah. So what did they say here about antiproton? I'll just read out a bit of it. So yeah, I wasn't too sure whether I was right about the atom, but something in my head said atom instead of proton.
The antiproton, P, pronounced P bar, is the antiparticle of the proton. Antiprotons are stable, but they are typically short-lived, since any collision with a proton will cause both particles to be annihilated in a burst of energy. The existence of the antiproton with one electric charge, opposite to the +1 electric charge of the proton, was predicted by Paul Dirac in his 1933 Nobel Prize lecture. Dirac received the Nobel Prize for his previous 1928 publication of his Dirac equation that predicted the existence of positive and negative solutions to the energy equation, \displaystyle E equals Mach circumflex 2, of Einstein, and the existence of the positron, the antimatter analog to the electron, with positive charge and opposite spin.
Okay, so here they talk about opposite spin as well as charge, you see. But who knows? So there's that Paul Dirac equation business again, popping up here. There he is there. So
Yeah.
what they're calling positive charge might be just mean like the magnetic field difference, right? Rather than it's just a way to imagine it, I guess. Positive charge is, to us, it's easy to understand positive and negative. But they're talking about here also the opposite spin. But it might be that it's not actually a sphere, a particle sphere that everyone seems to refer to. It might be one of those fractal balls that I was showing you on one of those. I don't know if I can find it. There's some really interesting fractal energy things that can come out. Fractal sphere. See if we can find it. So here's various fractal spheres, right? All sorts of variations. There you go. So you could imagine.
That's awesome.
You could imagine that sort of energy going around and inside itself. That could be what the charge is, and the spin might be going around this way for a proton, and when it whacks with another proton and its spin is alterated and it spins around this way, and the internal side of it also recalibrates. You can imagine that it goes in the opposite direction as well, so the charge changes, is what we call charge anyway. So you can see it's really abstract, as they say here, abstract forms. And here's some other ones that could be fractals as well, I guess. Although they're not the really good ones. That one there, to me, makes more sense that we just looked at here. That one makes perfect sense. And then you can see if you bounce electrons off this, it's going to go off in all different directions and it's going to form a sphere. But it's not actually what we're seeing, though, But how I'm trying to explain it anyway. Here's another one. Here we got down the side. Anybody? We got Van on. Hello, Van. So yeah.
Well, there's right.
So here's another one. You can just imagine that being like an energy particle, and you just smash a proton together. It's got these little spheres inside, which they probably call quarks. So let's see. What's a proton made of? I wasn't going to. Just a quick recap on that. what they call protons made of. What is a proton made of? Here we go. Along with neutrons, protons make up a nucleus held together by strong force. The proton is a baryon and is considered to be composed of 2 up quarks and 1 down quark. So we got a picture here. Let's see if we can get a big one up. But again, if you look at the fractal designs, you could see how that would be inside it. Here we go. Made of 3 smaller spheres, I reckon. Proton and neutron. What's that one there? That one looks almost like fractal design. Here's some other pictures on. Proton, neutron. Charge, and a neutron's not. So this again relates to the fractal thing I was just showing you. The neutron might have a energy pattern inside itself, energy form, which equals out. This one here might be all going in one direction, so it's got what you call a positive charge, and the antiproton's got it going in the opposite direction, and this one's probably got the energy fields inside it, little spheres like they're trying to do here, because the balls don't actually, if you look at it, 3 balls making a sphere doesn't sort of fit, does it? It's going to be like a triangular shape, isn't it? What do you call it, a trapezoid or something like that? What do you call a three-sided
triangle?
Well, you imagine 3 spheres stuck together. There's a special name for it. I can't remember what it's called now. If you could stick 3 balls together, probably Vern would know.
He would.
Vern knows everything. That should be your name of your channel, Vern. You should call it Vern Knows Everything. And you might get a few people come along. Good. Someone's depicting it as energy. See how you can see they've got the 3 spheres inside, and they've got energy. Proton. One's got it, I don't know, equalizing out, and that one hasn't. I suppose that one could be the neutron in this case. Anyway, I find it fascinating. Oh, here's the 3 ones. Here we go. Someone's got a decent picture up. Quarks. That's a load of quarks to me. A51, he's into all that sort of stuff, isn't he? So, yeah. What other fractal spheres have we got here? See, that one's quite interesting. It's got little holes in it. See that one there?
Yeah.
And that one there. And that one's pretty cool looking. And you can see it's getting smaller and smaller going to the top here, like it's got a pole. Now, I like that. That's pretty cool. That one's crazy looking. So they say electron has no mass, right? So how can energy have no mass? You see what I mean?
Doesn't make sense.
Electron has no mass. There you go. Electron has a mass that's approximately 1 over that is of a proton. Oh, so they do say it has mass. I thought I read before that it said no mass. Okay. That looks like it's pretty small though. 1 over 1836, almost no mass. I guess they meant. Electrons massless. Well, not according to that. 2014 individual atoms are in grapevine.
Graphene.
Graphene is massless, but when they move together, it's a different story. One atom thick carbon sheet has taken the world of physics by storm. Because the electrons have as massless particles. That makes sense. So up there it's saying it's not. So I don't believe it is. I think it's near massless. Why does electron have no mass? See, I'm pretty sure I read that right before. So one's saying opposite. So is that old information now? It probably is, you know. We discovered that's not quite true in the science books. Don't have time to watch the lecture. None of us do. Electron, here you go. Electron has no mass in the standard model because electroweak symmetry break-in above the symmetric break-in scale, electron is massless. Does that even make sense? Now for massless particles, left-handed and right-handed are different states. So these people are just getting lost up in all the quantum nonsense, I think. By Lorentz transformation. Just travel in the same direction as the particle with higher stuff. Is electron really considered massless? Can high position? Yeah, this guy's listed at 1836 as well. Electrons do have mass, but only about 1/2000 of the mass of a proton. So he's rounded it up. That's no good. You can't be a scientist, so you round up the 1800 to 2000. That's not good. Anyway, there you go. So I just wanted to clear that up. Whether I cleared it up or not, I don't know. I don't want to be accused of giving you wrong information, but I'm just telling you to think things always differently to what you read and stuff. Always question it. Okay, what are you saying then? Electrons have mass, protons have no mass. Photons have no mass. Right, yes, photons as well. We should have looked at photons. So that's just got to be rubbish in my book. They will have something. I forgot about photons. Photons have mass. Okay, so we'll put that in, see what comes up. Light is composed of photons, so we could ask if the photon has mass. The answer is then definitely no, the photon is a massless particle according to theory. It has energy and momentum but no mass, and is confirmed by experiment with in strict limits. So this is the E equals mc squared business, I suppose. What is the mass of a photon? So you got to read lots of things because a lot of, as you can see in the previous one, there was contradictions happening. Probably due to more information coming out since, you know. Does the photon have mass? Has energy mass? You know, you talk about the solar wind. What is that? That obviously causes pressure wave, right? And that's energy. Energy is equivalent to mass. Photons are traditionally said to be massless. This is a figure of speech. So here you go. The physicists used to describe something about how a photon's particle-like properties are described by the language of special relativity. I don't think scientists agree on everything. They confuse themselves. What is a massless photon at rest? Yeah. This is why science is yuck. And mathematics, yuck. We'll stick with UFOs. So all that conduction there. He's got to go. Why are you always typing in caps? Is that a problem with your keyboard or something? Positron, mesons. Yeah. Then knows everything. Okay. So yeah, come to today. We were talking about fire in the sky. What's his name? Travis Walton.
Travis Walton, that was the gentleman's name.
Story. You probably heard it a million times and sick of hearing about it. But it's actually on the MUFON database, so they class it as a good one, I guess. 1975. And I'm not sure if they've added anything new to it, but you can see this page is pretty weirdy. They're meant to be making a new movie, aren't they? The movie came out, Fire in the Sky, in 1993, but unfortunately it wasn't realistic. Where he gets in the UFO was nothing like what he explained, and they had creative license. I really hate that though, rather than keep it realistic, so it makes sense. But apparently there were lumbermen, or what do you call them? What do you call them over there, where they cut down trees? Foresters.
Yeah,
forestry. Lumberjacks. Oh, that's the one. Lumberjacks, and apparently they were going to lose their jobs soon, and a lot of the skeptics were saying that they were making up this story, maybe to make money from it, to maybe pay for a future business opportunity. They'd sell, maybe make millions from a movie or books or whatever. So this thing here, on this show called Truth About, what was it called? Moment of Truth was the series on TV. I better play it at slower speed or something. But what they do is they got the husband and wife on these shows, and they ask them questions and hook them up to a lie detector test. And I'm not sure if the wife has to choose the right answer. I think it had to be the way. So the man's on there, and he's asked the question, did you lie about your work history or whatever? And the wife will say, no, he hasn't. And if she gets it right with the lie detector, then they move on to the next level. And if they get to the end, they get a lump sum of money, $100,000 or $1 million or whatever it is. But anyway, they put Travis Walton on the lie detector on this show and see what happens. It's quite interesting. And we'll talk about it.
November 5th, 1975. Well, Travis Walton has told us a detailed account. You can read his book. What is the title of the book?
Fire in the Sky.
Fire in the Sky. Also a movie based on his story, and basically he says he was driving with 6 crew members from a day of work where they saw the flying saucer. And he jumped out of the truck, and the next thing was witnessed by Ken and others that a beam of energy or light hit you, and you believe that you were abducted, and Ken believes that you were abducted by aliens for that period of time. So we asked that question. Question 15 is simply this: were you abducted by a UFO on November 5th, 1975?
Beam.
Yes.
That answer is
I like the music.
false.
You should be swearing.
Well, Travis, I told you at the very beginning of this show that I'm not a skeptic. And so I try not to judge or root one way or the other, but I was really hoping that this answer was a true answer. All I will say to you is that when asked this while strapped to the polygraph machine, it was deduced that your response was conclusively deceptive. Sadly, I'll say that the $100,000 you stood to win by answering truthfully is not yours, but I will happily say that by having the courage to face us and be here and answer these questions, 14 of which you answered truthfully, we have $25,000 for you. Is there?
So he still made $25,000 out of that one, not 100,000.
Yeah.
John, you need to go on that show. You get $100,000 to get to the end. So
Cool.
I guess the blonde lady is his wife. Who's this? Daughter? I don't know. Who are these people?
Is there anything, Travis, you'd like to say before we say goodbye?
Well, the polygraph is 97% accurate, not 100.
So, what's your feelings on him? Are you 50-50 with him? Do you believe his story?
I really honestly don't know. I can tell what's real and what's not real.
You clipped off at the end there. I didn't quite hear. So you don't believe? You believe he's telling the truth? You just don't know.
I honestly don't know.
All right. Okay. Well, that is a problem because sometimes he passes like detector tests, and obviously on this show he didn't. So yeah, let's see his reaction there. Travis Walton by detector, because you often hear about him passing the test, and that's clearly one that he didn't pass. So there was a thing that Michael Schumer, he's the guy here. Not many people in the UFO field like him. He's like the biggest skeptic, and he runs the Skeptic magazine, I think. So he talks about this abduction and the Moment of Truth episode. The Moment of Truth. So I don't know what he actually has said about it, but let's just read out some of it anyway. I always have that trouble. No, what's going on here? There's actually quite a lot of reading there, isn't there? Does he tell the story first or something, does he? Should we try the drunken American? Oh, I suppose we have to set it up first, don't we?
Because I have a teenage daughter, I am relatively current on what is popular in pop culture. American Idol is the ne plus ultra in the reality television genre. Don't let yourself get hooked. And because Fox incestuously promotes its other shows, I was vaguely familiar with the Moment of Truth, a game show in which contestants have to tell the truth under the watchful wires of a lie detector in order to win cash prizes. Contestants are put through a battery of questions while hooked up to the polygraph, but are not told whether the examiner determined from the readings whether or not they told the truth. Later, in front of millions of viewers and a live studio audience, with their friends, co-workers, family, spouses, or boyfriends and girlfriends, or excess sitting on the set with them, they are asked the same questions again. After each answer, a female voice says that answer is, and after a long pause, a true means the contestant continues up the ladder to $25,000, $100,000, $200,000, all the way to $500,000.
Ooh.
A false sends you packing for home.
Okay. So that's sort of good summary there. He talks a lot here, doesn't he?
One night a woman, husband and ex-boyfriend, and was asked if she wished she had married the other guy. Yes, she said. That answer is true, sounded the voice. She won the money but lost the husband. I remember thinking to myself, you'd have to be a real pinhead to go on this show. On July the 31st, 2008, I appeared on The Moment of Truth. Watch part 1 on YouTube. I appear at about 7:35 seconds. In part 2, the contestant was Travis Walton, arguably the most famous alien abductee in Earth history. I agreed to appear only if there were no sexual allusions, alien probes aside. My question for Mr. Walton, do you have any evidence to support your claim of being abducted? Of course he answered in the affirmative, because for 3 decades Travis Walton has been telling people that on the evening of November the 5th, 1975, he was zapped into a UFO while working as a logger in an Arizona national forest. His evidence? His co-workers said they saw it happen. 5 days later, Walton called from a nearby payphone to report that the aliens had let him go. And none too soon, because Walton and his co-workers were about to miss their deadline of November the 10th to finish the logging job, after which they would be docked 10% of the contract, unless an act of God prevented completion. Enter the UFO. Why aliens? For years, Travis and his older brother Dewey had talked about the UFOs that they had seen in Arizona, and they even made a pact that if either one were ever abducted, they would insist that the aliens abduct the other one as well. Coincidentally, not. 2 weeks before Walton's abduction, with the logging deadline growing near, NBC aired their prime-time made-for-television movie The UFO Incident, about the 1961 Betty and Barney Hill abduction case.
I'll just read more of it.
In the considered opinion of the late aviation journalist Philip Clark, his 90 UFO abductions, Prometheus books, Walton and his buddies just made up the story as an excuse to account for their pending job incompletion. In his investigation of the case, Clark discovered that during the 5 days that Walton was missing, none of his family or co-workers showed any concern whatsoever for his safety during several interviews by media and interrogations by law enforcement agents. His brother Dewey confessed, he is not even missing. He knows where he is at, and I know where he is at. Although Walton passed a polygraph test arranged by a UFO organization, Clark learned that Walton dictated to the examiner what questions would be asked. Further investigation by Clark led him to an earlier unpublished polygraph test of Walton, conducted by Jack McCarthy, one of the top polygraph examiners in Arizona. McCarthy gave Clark his assessment of Walton's story, gross deception. He added that Walton employed polygraph countermeasures, such as holding his breath.
So what do you think of that, John? Are you still there?
I think it's rather fascinating, eh?
So there you go. This is more to the poly tests after all that we didn't know about. So one of them was holding his breath. You know, the countermeasures where you sort of strain your butthole or something, and that changes it as well.
Yeah, I do it constantly.
So there's
clench and release.
So they're saying there's motive for lying there. It's not a pure innocent thing that they've just finished their day job and heading home when they get abducted, or one of them does. So yeah, I have my doubts about it still now. You know, I listen to, even though I don't like this Michael guy, he has a point. You know.
Yeah.
And he's talking about class, which Robert Farmer always goes on about, and he reckons I'm a bit of a class act. So he was meant to be the chief debunker at the time, wasn't it? What's his name? Something Class.
Oh, yeah. Philip Class.
Philip, yeah, was it? Yeah.
Philip J. Class.
Now, 33 years later, Walton was once again in the polygraph hot seat. His affirmative answer to my question passed the truth test, because of course Walton believes he has evidence in the form of his friend's corroborative story. The next question, for $100,000, was refreshingly straightforward. Were you abducted by a UFO on November the 5th, 1975? Without hesitation, he barked yes. The voice in the sky once again boomed. That answer is...
Yeah, so it ended false. We just watched
And
it.
that was,
We just watched that clip on YouTube. Hopefully, we don't get a strike for it.
oh God.
Yeah.
false. I couldn't believe it. Neither could Walton, whose jaw dropped faster than a crashed flying saucer. At last, after a best-selling book and popular film about his abduction, Fire in the Sky, after countless UFO conferences and media appearances, it took a Fox reality television show to bring the case to a head. What does this mean? To be fair and balanced, possibly nothing, because the polygraph test is unreliable. In fact, I even thoroughly debunked it myself in a 2-part special for the Fox Family channel. Watch part 1 and part 2 on YouTube.
Maybe they should did voice stress analysis as well, and if they both come out false, that would have been a really back it up doubly with the different tests, you know. Oh, you're breaking up there, Joel. All right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Don't know what to tell you, boss.
I don't know. I hope it's coming out all right. It might be because we're sort of fighting over each other, maybe. Because we changed that priority thing now, so we'll just keep reading it out because it's quite interesting.
Given the shortcomings of both reality television and the polygraph, I wrote to Travis and asked him for his account of his experience on Moment of Truth. I had met Walton once before at my office in Altadena, California, where we filmed a segment for a television special on UFOs. I found him to be an exceptionally likable man, a nice guy, and I found his account of this television show to be most illuminating. As he wrote me on August the 21st, 2009.
Okay, so we got a bit of letter here. Oh, goes on a bit.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a big document, but it's worth having a listen to it. That's too much, I think, at the moment. Don't want to cut too much, or don't overload the computer. So the thing is, the question is, were you abducted by a UFO? So technically, you don't know what a UFO is, though. So would that cause a bit of stress? Were you abducted by aliens? You know what I mean? You might get abducted, but you don't know who you got abducted by. So you can't really answer that truthfully because you don't really know. You got abducted. What I should have maybe asked is, were you abducted in 1975? Which could be by anything, right? Just make it more general. And then you could ask another question. Were you abducted by aliens? And then get the yes, false, and true on that bit. Maybe it's a way you word the question as well. That's what I'm saying. Shame we haven't got many people on the side chat. We could ask their opinions on the Trevor Walton case, whether they believe it or not. Everyone keeps talking about he passed 11 lie detector tests. Was it? We'll have to look that information up. But I think he did pass quite a few detector tests. But obviously, this is one that he hasn't passed, which is quite an important one because it was on TV. So let's I'll play the rest of this letter talking about the show.
I normally would not have ever agreed to be on such a show. After my fellow crewmen and I passed polygraph tests from the Arizona State Police polygraph examiner, I wrote in my book that I was done addressing that aspect of it. There the matter rested until last year, when I received the bad news from my employer of 11 years that over 100 of those most recently hired, which included me, would be permanently laid off. Coincidentally, I came home that day to receive a phone call from the Moment of Truth inviting me to be a contestant with the possibility of winning up to $100,000. I am no fool. I knew that the show's public lure was to familiarize the audience with the contestant's friends and family, and then shockingly disgrace him with a key failed question. I wrote to several friends about my misgivings. The examiner was their man, with a vested interest in giving his employer the scandalous Jerry Springer-type entertainment that has been the show's stock in trade, to say nothing of saving them from awarding any prize money. I was made even more uneasy to learn that up to then very few had won much of anything. The outrageous demands settled down in their contract was the clincher. I declined their offer, but they persisted, modifying the standard contract to satisfy my objections. They said the rules were being changed to ensure more prizes would be awarded. My looming layoff pushed me to reconsider. I inquired as to whether good, accepted modern polygraph methods were being used. They assured me that was the case. I should have known better, but I figured all I had to do was tell the truth, even if I had to make public something embarrassing like a personal business or marital mistake, and I would win top prize.
So, again, we've got the money thing involved in this case, which kind of then throws doubt on the actual thing being truthful, doesn't it?
It always does.
Yeah. So you can see he's got a lot of motive to plug this story and to stick to the guns because he's going to get money out of it. So obviously they're going to make another movie, I think. Let's see. Actually, I'll just post the link down on the side, but that's quite a good article. A Moment of Truth. Right up. Yeah. So you don't hear that side of the story on too many UFO documentaries, do you?
I haven't heard it.
Only on Out There channel. There you go. Yes, that's why it's always good to look at other people's side of things. So, what was I going to look up? How many lie detector tests did he pass? Travis, Walton.
I'd be curious to know.
How many lie detector passes? Probably won't come up, probably. So that one's come up straight away. Is Google being biased there? So it says here in the wiki, which is probably what's up there, is it? No. So he's been on Gaia. There you go. So I wonder how much he got paid for going on that.
Boom.
A real abduction, a skeptoid. So we should have a look at that one too. CSI, but not Travis Walton. So what's all these things? Rational Wiki, that's normally quite good at giving another perspective on things. So maybe have a look on that one. So again, we've probably got lots of things. Polygraph tests. Okay, what does it tell us about polygraph tests? Okay, so let's go through it then. Can we scale up the font a bit? What's the easiest way to do it? Font or page? So Travis Walton was allegedly abducted by aliens near Snowflake, Arizona. So whereabouts is that? Have you been up that place at all, John?
Yeah, it's in the White Mountains. It's actually a beautiful spot.
You know, you should do a trip up there and do a video on it, and we can bring it up to the Out There channel. You can say, oh, this is where Travis Walton was abducted, and have a look around. would be quite interesting.
That would be kind of fun. Could do that.
Yeah. Take your mum for a ride on a sunny day. Maybe wait till summer. Maybe I don't know. It's summer there now, isn't it? What's the temperature today?
Is, yeah.
What's the temperature?
Today it was 96.
96 Fahrenheit, which is
that's pushing up around 38.
38 degrees Celsius, is it? I wish these guys would go metric, you know. To see. Here we go. 36.666. So there you go, the devil's number there. 98. Arizona, the place of the devil. So, what's it say here? We've just read all that. So, and his family believe they've seen numerous UFOs over the years and were obsessed with the idea of alien contact and abduction by the sound of it. As a UFO atheist, Walton would have been aware of National Enquirer offered a 5,000 reward for positive proof. There you go. So money again. Walton and other crew members divided the 5,000 and gave exclusive story rights to the Enquirer. There we go. They did get some money. Walton's medical exams and initial failed but kept secret polygraph tests were set up and paid for by the National Enquirer. So what's that business about failed, kept secret? So it looks like he's failed a few of them then. Walton's supposed abduction provided the much-needed act of God that enabled login contractor Mike Rogers to avoid costly penalties due to the crew fallen behind schedule. So that's what Michael was talking about too. Walton and Rogers could have easily rigged up a glowing light or other prop to make the other 5 think they've seen a UFO. So there you go. Faced with embarrassing questions, the Walton family decided they would only talk to people who did not doubt the abduction by alien story. So yeah, they could have set up maybe a bank of lights in the forest and had a remote trigger. So as they were driving around, they could have turned on this glowing helium balloon or something, you know what I mean? Which lit up and had a spotlight that shone down when he walked close to it to make out, and then just act like he got hit by a beam of light, and the other guy panicked and drove off, right? So you can see how it could be hoaxed when you start thinking about it. So as I keep saying, you've got to keep questioning everything that we're being told. And the motive here obviously is going to be money and contracts. So was it a real event? It could be, but it also could be like it was a staged event. And I guess if you tell the stories over and over again, eventually you're going to believe it, aren't you? What does it tell us about aliens? Sophisticated enough to evade detection by NORAD, levitate objects on beams of light, and power to erase human memories, will invariably choose to hang around remote woody areas on the off chance that some guy dressed like a construction worker and a village people will wander close to the spaceship. Yeah, so it's kind of a bit strange, isn't it? Or whatever. What does it tell us about polygraph tests? Over the years, Walton has maintained that the story is true because he's arranged for and passed an additional number of polygraph tests, which he says conclusively prove he wasn't lying. But when Walton failed a polygraph test on Fox Network's The Moment of Truth, there you go, he argued that the polygraph tests can be rigged and are unreliable. So yeah, you change your story depending on how it goes, eh? In 2000, the American Academy of Science called the polygraph a danger to national security. So I told you the rational wiki is actually quite good to sum up things. I suppose I'm going to be hated now because I've debunked another person, maybe, or at least brought attention to it, the other side of the story that you don't get to hear. So we got all these other links here too. So what actually happened inside the UFO? That's a good question. So let's see. Let's just open up and have a look at that one. Yeah, what's happening here? It's a YouTube. Contact in the desert. I'm trying to poison. It's not poison.
Oh,
Don't strike me, Google. It's not my problem. I thought it was going to be a web page. This one, 39K. So we don't want that one. I'll get rid of that one. So what else we got here? Oh yeah, I sort of noticed it had YouTube in this title below here.
to you.
Yeah. See aliens. I don't know. The more I listen to the evidence. So what's the wiki say? Again, and discovered many discrepancies in accounts of Walton and his co-workers. After investigating the administrative measures such as holding his breath, and uncovered an early field test administered by an examiner who concluded the case involved gross deception. Oh dear. Science and skepticism writer. I activate.
It's all right.
It picked up something I said with it. I think the polygraph is not a reliable determinator of truth. He's done because we're looking for a number, but we didn't.
Yeah.
We didn't find it. What's the other thing? New movie. Okay, let's search for that. New movie for Travis Walton. I watched the movie because I like sci-fi and UFO movies. So Travis Walton. Here we go. 2005. Is it? Is it already out? Oh no, that's a documentary. The true story of Travis Walton. Is it really true?
Oh, yeah.
Is it really true though? Did they include all that stuff that we just looked at? Is the question as well. You'd have to get the movie and have a watch, I guess. I think I may have seen it. Amazon. Real Fire and Sky. Let's see. What does he say? I'm interviewing him. Looks like a radio show. Transcripts. Anything there that's an interest to us? No, it's telling the full story by the looks of it. A lot of information, including police suspicions. There you go, even the police were suspect. Since 18 years later, book was made into a movie. Yeah, basically summing up the same thing. Yeah, so what are we looking for? The movie. There was meant to be a remake going on that's actually going to be realistic. New movie. You think it'd come up with that one though? Let's see.
Yeah.
Travis Walton, the movie. Is that what it is? It might be. is now available to buy.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we got a new sub, is it? Oh, yeah. Did that play on the big screen?
Me.
Yeah. Who did we get? Starlight. Chinese characters underneath after. I suppose it means Starlight, those characters do it, does it? Well, welcome to the Out There channel, Starlight. So yeah, it looks like the movie's called Travis, huh? I've never seen it, I don't think.
I haven't.
No. True story of Travis Walton, unless it's the documentary they're talking about. It's a documentary. I think I might. I think I might have seen it then.
Well, Fire in the Sky was the movie, but
Yeah, I want to see a remake of it. We can't play the trailer because we get hit with a copyright infringement. So yeah, here we go. Yeah, it's called Travis Walton, the movie up there, but it's actually called Travis: The True Story, 2015. So I'm fairly sure I've seen that. Might have it on the hard drive, in fact. So I was hoping there's going to be another movie, but nothing's sort of popping up though, is it? It wouldn't be called Fire in the Sky, surely. But I guess they could have used the real name of the old movie again. Or maybe you have to type in something different here. Remake? Reboot movie? They call it reboot. You know, when you get new actors, you know, like Spider-Man's got a new set of actors and also has a couple of other movies like Tomb Raider, I think is one of them. And they call it reboot when they got new they want to go back to the original story again, but with new actors rather than carrying on with the existing actors. Remake, reboot. And you notice the Marvel thing, they've gone back to the comic strips to sort of be realistic to the comic strips, like Walking Dead. So rather than someone modifying the script to what the actual story everybody likes, and they now scrapped all those ones and gone back to the original comic strips. So that's just documentary, though, isn't it? So he's got his own official website here. Let's have a look. So sell. The book, the documentary, the witnesses, the movie. Sell. Buy it here at Amazon. Yep, here we go. But I'm pretty sure I heard them talking about making a new movie. I'm pretty sure. Maybe Open Minds guy, what's his name? Rojas would know. What's it not closing? Looks like we're not going to find the answer though. Remake movie possible. Maybe it got cancelled or something. Jeff Facts you didn't know about the movie. Okay, let's have a look at that one. Okay. Funny looking aliens, eh? Pumpkin heads. Okay, number 10. The real Travis. What's this popping up? The real Travis Walton makes a cameo in the movie. Oh, does he? His wife is the cameo as well. if there was ever any doubt that he was making it up, the act of trying to gain attention for his abduction would support it. Yep. The blazing light was not a part of Walton's accounts. So there you go. Apparently, all he remembers is being knocked out and then walking up on the alien ship. Being knocked out. Then waking up, I'm not walking, waking up on the alien ship. So only the other people talked about a beam of light then. Walton managed to describe the aliens pretty convincingly to whoever would listen. It's easier to doubt, but it's also very hard to give the benefit of the doubt to someone that describes an encounter in ways that are not entirely imaginative, and they relate to pop culture and what's it's showing of aliens so far. So he described them the same as what alien greys. That doesn't really prove anything though. There were 7 men in the vehicle, not 6, eh? The movie paired, was that spelt right? Paired it down to 6 so there wouldn't be too many faces and names that could that needed to be remembered by the audience. Rumor has it that there's a remake underway. Here we go. It's a rumor at this point, but it could be happening since Travis Walton seems to want in on it. Of course he does. He wants the money. It's been surmised that Walton used another UFO-based show to come up with his own story. Here we go. The UFO incident came out 2 weeks before his release, so it's possible that after his disappearance, which is still hard to explain, that he used this movie to come up with the descriptions. So I wonder what the movie was then. Robert Patrick and Peter Burge starred together in Copland. Okay, that's not really important, is it? It came out to be mixed reviews. Some people were excited to see it come out, while others just shook their heads and wondered why anyone even bothered. Yeah, I was pretty disappointed by the movie actually as well. The movie wasn't exactly a box office smash, no. So obviously he didn't make his millions out of it. Walton made a claim that he flew the ship in an effort to escape. If you wanted another reason to roll your eyes, here you go. The movie wasn't horrible, but it did leave people wanting a better explanation. So there you go. That's quite a good summary there. So how are you thinking it's going, John? We lost John. John. You got to sleep on me.
No. No, I had no. My wrist flipped over the microphone button and muted it. I didn't realize.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right. So, we're about screwy. We're going to close that one down.
Bye-bye.
And we'll just carry on with Michael's countdown of that show, which was quite interesting, the stuff he was coming out with.
Okay, then, Mike.
Yep,
I didn't. He became aware of the shocking truth about the polygraph procedure they were using until it was too late. It did no good to tell them what I'd written in my book, page 322, years earlier, that the American Polygraph Association Standards and Principles of Practice item number 5 states, a member shall not provide a conclusive decision or report based on chart analysis without having collected at least two separate charts in which each relevant question is asked on each chart. A chart is one presentation of the question list. There are many other violations of accepted procedure. We came back home and my wife had me retested with the most rigorous new tests we could find in New Mexico, where it is stringently regulated by the state because results are admissible in court there. A firm highly recommended by other examiners, one that does work for the Albuquerque Police Department, the NM State Prison, and the U.S. Marshal's Office. The most accepted methods on state-of-the-art computerized equipment. I passed 2 different new tests flawlessly. Then I found a website that was even more devastating of any claim of legitimacy for the moment of truth, the truth about the moment of truth. Written by a court-certified polygraph expert back in 2004, shortly after the show debuted, he began with, "The polygraph aspect of the show has no validity whatsoever, and this test format will not determine truth or deception. In fact, I wrote years ago that the JAO tests showed such methods would yield as high as 80% false positives." He wrote in conclusion, "Due to the vague, subjective, futuristic nature, and sheer volume of relevant questions asked on the moment of truth, there can be little more than chance accuracy in determining truth or deception to these questions. In other words, they could simply flip a coin and achieve the same accuracy levels. Saying you will get the same opinion from any accredited polygraph school." I then proceeded to gather several more equally damning judgments from some of the very top experts in the world in polygraph, plus I had several international media forums lined up. So there's a bit of a letdown because I was geared up to defend myself in a way that would have unfortunately demolished the show and seriously hurt Fox. Too bad, because I think that the producers I dealt with are good, well-intentioned people who had been duped by a dishonest examiner. Check out that website and tell me what you think. I think the polygraph is not a reliable determiner of truth. I think Travis Walton was not abducted by aliens. In both cases, the power of deception and self-deception is all we need to understand what really happened in 1975 and after.
I think it ended early there, does it?
Yeah.
So, flipping a coin. So, after listening to all that, I have my doubts about the whole story too now. So it's good to look at that sort of stuff. So how are we doing for time? It's amazing how much time flies by when you're looking at this sort of stuff.
Yeah. down to the last one, last third.
So where is everybody today though? Are they at work
I
at the
don't
moment?
know.
What's the time over there at the moment?
It is 10 p.m.
There should be people around, shouldn't there?
Yeah.
Okay, should we do Susie or leave it last? So we'd look at carry on with the UFO topic, and then we'll go to Susie maybe. Talking about home invasions by the actual government itself. So yeah, makes you wonder when people talk about being harassed by government. It's very possible when you listen to her story. Key point there might be Stan Romanek. He always said he was being because he was like a abductee thing, same as Travis Walton. So whether he's telling lies, who knows? There's another one to question, I suppose. A lot of people think he was telling lies because he got caught out faking stuff on a webcam interview. But he came clean after saying that he was threatened. His family life were threatened if he didn't sort of come clean and say he was lying about the UFOs and all that sort of stuff. So who knows? So anyway, Mick reckons he solved the To the Stars Gimbal UFO video. So I'll just play it here and just slow it down a bit. And see what you think, or we'll talk about it anyway.
interest in recent years, with many TV shows and countless discussions online. It's a cool
Maybe we need to
video
speed them
appearing
up.
to show a saucer-shaped craft with strange aura flying at high speed and then rotating in a way that amazes the pilots watching.
He's
Right
very
from the
quiet.
start, I thought this shows an infrared glare of a distant plane, rotating not because the plane is rotating, but because of an artifact of the camera gimbal system, which is why the Navy gave the video the name Gimbal. On Metabunk, we gathered a lot of evidence to support this. We showed that glares can rotate independently of the image
You
when
can't
tracked
hear
on a gimbal camera. We showed that the aura
He's very
is an
quiet,
infrared
isn't he?
artifact. We showed that the target need not be moving very fast, as the motion of the background was just parallax. But one thing eluded us: the saucer-shaped glare on a comparable infrared camera. I gave it a go with a little camera I had and got something similar, but infrared videos of distant jets are not that common and tend to just show blobs. But finally, we've got a good example of a similar shape, thanks to Dave Flatch. Dave has been looking into this for a while, trying to duplicate the effects using FLIR equipment, very similar to that used in the gimbal video. One of the last videos he put up shows him following a small jet, and when he switches to infrared, we get this shape, a saucer shape with protrusions similar to the gimbal shape. To get this shape, you just have to nudge the focus slightly. The shape seems to be a result of diffraction effects along a light path of the camera, somewhat related to bokeh. You can see this diffraction in play as it goes through the trees. And of course, the shape of the infrared glare looks nothing like the actual plane. So now we've got all the pieces. We know the apparent motion of a plane relative to clouds could just be a parallax. We know the glow is just something that happens around infrared glare. We know that infrared glare can rotate independently of the view in a gimbal system. And now we know the glare can look.
Okay. It's a wee bit of lag there, pausing it. So there's the two side by sides. Do you think it looks like the same? It's similar, but you can, because like they're saying, you're only seeing the heat signature, not the actual shape of the craft. Or are we? So if a body of a UFO is hot, right, you're going to see the shape of the craft. But here we're seeing the heat of the jet engine when he was going back to the plane. Shame they haven't put the plane next to it as well on the same image. It's not long. It's not the same length. It's got the little bits sticking out the side that they're talking about, where the wings could be, you see. But you think, you know, a jet fighter would know what he was chasing, wouldn't you? I reckon they've got some regular footage as well from these camera pods, not just infrared. I reckon they've got HD footage as well of what this object. Yeah. So where's the image of the plane? Where you had overwritten. It was here somewhere. There. So we're seeing the two jet engine outputs, I guess, on the thermal. So really he needs to do this a wee bit better, I think, Mick. Let's see. Let's do our own images on it. So are you convinced that it wasn't a UFO from that little video that he's done?
Oh, I don't.
You don't. Sorry, John. You don't. You broke up then.
No.
No.
It's an interesting comparison, and I like the way he's doing it. But who knows what the hell To the Stars Academy presented us? Whether it's real, fake, or otherwise, no clue.
So we want the other one too. And we want that one. See, it still could be like a drone. A UFO is a UFO. It doesn't mean that it's not man-made. It could be alien craft. It could be man-made. And if it's a drone, it doesn't need a pilot inside, so it can do extreme G-forces. So you got to keep that all in consideration. Okay, so I'll post the video to watch it again if you want. And a gimbal debunked video from Mick. Okay. So yes, so we just close that one down. So before we carry on, there's another thing here that was also put out on the UFO channels and from off MUFON on his webpage. And there's the gimbal one again. Not the Tic Tac. I don't think it is. I think it's the gimbal one. It could be the Tic Tac one. Is it? Let's see. Is it the same one? Doesn't say, does it? Navy pilot says he saw off California was not off this world. So okay. So what does it say? We'll just get it to read out, I guess. It saved me tripping over my tongue. Bit swollen.
A former Navy pilot has opened up about an otherworldly experience he says he experienced in 2004. His testimony comes just days after the Pentagon officially revealed the existence of a secret office investigating the existence of UFOs. CMDR. David Fravor, a former squadron leader who worked as a Navy pilot for 18 years, said on Monday he was on a routine training mission off the coast of California in 2004 when his unit was directed to go and examine strange unidentified objects that were descending from 80,000 to 20,000 feet and then disappearing.
So we've heard that story before, but is there anything new there? I don't know.
Upon flying 60 miles to the location, Fravor says he saw a tic-tac-shaped object, 40 feet long with no wings, just hanging close to the water, in an interview with the Washington Post on Monday. He said it created a disturbance on the water uncharacteristic of a helicopter or a plane, and moved rapidly. As I get closer, as my nose is starting to pull back up, it accelerates and it is gone, he told the Post. Faster than I'd ever seen anything in my life. We turn around, say let us go see what is in the water, and there is nothing. Just blue water.
This is interesting. Makes you wonder if it's underwater, what's it doing underwater? Do they have like a mothership underwater that they're using as a base? Who knows?
I can tell you, I think it was not from this world, Fravor told ABC News, also on Monday. I am not crazy, haven't been drinking. It was after 18 years of flying, I've seen pretty much about everything that I can see in that realm, and this was nothing close.
So it does sound like it's either some really crazy advanced human technology, or it's got to be something else that's not from this world, of course. So that means if other countries have got that kind of technology and the US hasn't got it, you may want to be crapping yourself because they could come and take over you anytime they want. Could you imagine like 1,000 of these objects just suddenly appearing over Arizona and just suddenly landing a load of troops and just taking you over, you know?
God.
Yeah.
Interest in Fravors' story has surged now that the Pentagon's information is in the public realm. A video of the encounter Fravor describes is included in a cache of 3 videos cleared on Saturday for public viewing, which appear to show encounters between military pilots and what the Pentagon calls anomalous aerial vehicles. The Pentagon said funding for its Advanced Aviation Threat Identification Program lasted from 2007 to 2012 and took up just $22 million of the Department of Defense's $600 billion budget, the New York Times reported.
Okay, so this is obviously an old report doing the rounds again. December 19, 2017. So I thought it was going to be something new because it was being posted around. So maybe they're just reminding people what the guy said again. But yeah, it does sound crazy, doesn't it? So let's plug it into downloads. Plug into the editor. Are you still there, John?
Yep, I'm still here.
All right. You sounded clear then. So it's gone onto the other screen. So we need to plug it in. What do we got here? Oh, right, I downloaded some images before, didn't I? So, this is 2, is it? So we open up that one. And let's do a overlay. Tweak.net. Here we go. Okay, so now we can import our favorite graphic tool, huh? The plane, Fantasy Island. Okay, so we need to get the outline of that plane. So we need to use the magic wand, hopefully, on it. Is it picking up the objects? We've got the gun sights in the way here. Okay, eraser. Looks like it's working. Yeah, we want a big one though. It's glitching a bit. Okay, it should all be erased now, apart from the plane. From the video, glitching a wee bit there. But we got the video going, haven't we? So we've lost a wee bit of speed. Okay, now we can move it around. Want to deselect it as well. Oh, and that's still there. Now we got it transparent. You see, we got this the eye. So it was originally down here, but it moved. So obviously it's up here. So we need to change the properties so we can see through it, maybe, or add them together. So let's try some of the options. Multiply. Not the best one. Additive. Shame we can't move it around just to see, but I think there's the object underneath. Color burn. That one's not so good. Color dodge. That one sort of makes it transparent white with the blob in the middle. And let's just check that one. So there you go, the blob goes over top now, you see. That's pretty cool. Yeah, we compare it to this one here. So we're looking at the jet engines. So was that plane rotating though, is the question? Was it sort of rotating coming into land? And the little things sticking out the edge are actually on the wings. So that's what's missing on their video there. How it actually lines up, exactly. Maybe something like that, maybe. Which means it's got to be similar to this. To me, it looks like it's going to be a different aircraft if it is. So I don't know, really, isn't it? So let's try some other layer properties. Color dodge is always a good one. Overlay. It makes it dark. Why is it not clicking? CPU, come on, you can do it. Keeps going up. Difference, negation, lighten. That's horrible. Darken. Don't seem to do anything. Screen. And XOR. Makes it dark again. So what was the best one? Overlay? I'll try that one. So it's got the landing gear down there. I don't think this one would have landing gear down. So I don't know. Seems like a string angle there though for landing. Yeah, I'm just not happy. Maybe you should do it around the other way as well. Let's see, create. Load it, that one. And resize it. From 80. So we can see the engines there. So where are the bits sticking out? That's the question. So that's the end of the craft. It's not very sharp and detailed though, is it? So we got the artifacts happening. Okay, sort of makes it a bit clearer. Now we need to go back to the original. Okay. So we want that one. Why is it small? I resized it, didn't I? Oh, what's going on? Hey? Why is that small? Go back. Go forward. What the hell? That was full screen before, wasn't it? And I sharpened it. What's going on there? Is that a bug in the program? Makes no sense whatsoever. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. Ah. What did I do? Zoom to window. That's kind of weird. Okay. Paste. Don't want to do that. Don't want to change the angle of it. So we got a blob. See if we can overlay it. Want to... We'll try that one. Hopefully we can see through it. There we go. It's not coming out really good though, is it? So to me that looks like the two engines there, so it's got to be rotated, isn't it? I guess. Sorry, I got interrupted. Not happy with that layer see-throughness. Let's see what else we got. Color dodge was the one we used before. Nope. Glow makes it dark. Difference, lighten maybe. Oh, too much. Darken. Screen. Okay, let's have a look at that one. Oh, that's quite a transparent. So looks like the engine there or engine there or engine there or engine there. So which way does it go?
That's a tough call.
Yeah.
Because we don't even know the...
Kind of looks like I don't know. It's kind of strange, isn't it? I would have said it would be more like that with the tail fin thing going up here. The tail bit, the two engines. I'll probably have to look at the video again, probably. It's a bit hard to tell, isn't it? Well, it could be the bits of the wing coming out that way. Oh, did you knock over something? Thermal signature. We almost need to change the color of it before we make it transparent. Let's see, can we actually do that? We might be able to. More play with the tools. Oh, there we go. Unfortunately, it's not swapping the colors. RGB. Yes. Bit hard to tell, isn't it? Let's try that. See, it doesn't kind of fit that way to me. Because of the two engines next to each other. What's it meant to be reflecting off? That seems to fit better that way, doesn't it? The two engines, tail bit going up. And see, it's sort of coming in on an angle though. It's not actually square on. It's going on the angle that way. Looks better fit that way though. Still looks better that way. And if you get the right angle, maybe. Two exhaust wings coming out. But yeah, gimbal. So you could overlay these ones now too. So we got that one copied. And paste it to a new image. Looks like we don't have time to talk about Susie this time. Paste into a new image. Scale it up. It's getting dark outside. Oh, there we go. And now we just need the other one here, which we really need to invert the color. So let's do that. It looks similar though, I must admit, but one's obviously more skinny. So let's make it a bit fatter, I guess. So are they chasing their own jet? Are they making stuff up? Just beg the questions, doesn't it? So let's change the color. It's going a bit slow, John. Darker, lighter. Okay. We seem to have lost the bits out the side here. Unless I've not done anything. So that's all the colours there, I guess. Don't want to modify it too much. You can't really see the little bits sticking out there on this. You falling asleep, John? Are you there, John? I think we should probably. It sounds like you're falling asleep. It sounds like you're falling asleep.
What? No, I'm not.
You're not asleep? It sounds like you're snoring. I know it's not too exciting. I'll just change the layer properties and overlay it. I suppose I'm all talked out really myself for this live session anyway. Let's see, additive maybe. Right, now we can see the one behind the other. There you go. Isn't that cool? Similar, but no cigar, I don't think. Could make it a bit bigger, I suppose. Where's the handles disappeared to? This thing's got a bug with it, obviously, where it makes it go off the edge. Let's see, we have to zoom it down again, do we? Zoom out. There we go. Well, it does look similar, I must admit, when you overlay it that way. And stretch it out a bit. But it could be the opposite way around. It could be like that direction, maybe. But hard to tell. Does it fit better that way? So, yeah, if you fatten it out and squash it down, so it looks like the same beetle type thing, doesn't it? And we're still not sure which way the heat is at the end here. So does that tell us that what we're seeing in that footage is actually another jet fighter? Is what the debunker is saying. It does raise possibilities here, doesn't it? Maybe we got time for Susan. We just yeah, I'm not too sure on this one here. Could be like that, couldn't it? So yeah, I don't know. Does seem to fit better that way, like that. What if I should send it to Mick? He'll say,
You should.
He'll think it's a load of rubbish, what I've done. I don't know. He say, what are you doing in my video? Overlaid. Oh, I suppose I should really see what he thinks of it. What would we do on this one here? Trying to overlay the plane. See, to me, that looks like it's around the other way on this one. The plane's doing a bank that way. Oh, what's happened to it? Where's my plane disappeared to? There it is. Looks like it's going that way to match up with the engines, right? But that I don't like that layer. It's too wishy-washy. Overlay, additive. Let's see, that was better, wasn't it? Let's get white. I don't know. It could be. It could be a plane.
Yeah, it's a hard call.
Hmm. I suppose you'd have to work out the size and all that stuff on the video, wouldn't you? Anyway, we'll leave it there. Maybe I'll save the images though. Save that one. That one's scaled. Gimbal over, what do you call it? Thermal. Ping, save it. Okay, it's saved now, and that one there. The thing is, I don't know if I've got it right or not. So, we might just save it, I suppose. Where is it? There. Although, let's see, it had some targeted things on it. Where did they disappear to? And that, where is it? Maybe. Did it have it on the original one? Whereabouts were the targets? It was straight up and down here. Unfortunately, it's not in the middle. Makes it really difficult to say if it's close to the image or not, you know, because that one's straight on. So that makes me wonder if that heat signature had been rotated like I've just shown. I think I probably got it right, actually. I've rotated it. Now we'll just save it. You can either agree with it or not. Save as. Okay. Actually, I'll probably wrap up. Better get going. We'll leave Susan and her home invasion to another day. I think it needs to be covered though. It's quite interesting, and I'll post a link for people to watch it. What do we call this one? Jet. Thermal. Probably shouldn't put spaces in it. I'll let it do. It'd be good to see you with the editor, John. See if you can actually follow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be good to watch you do all this. See if you learnt anything. So I'll just close that one down. And that one. I might make a thumbnail out of those ones. Oh, actually, maybe not. I might just keep them though. I'll post them on Twitter for him. Don't save. Let's see. Maybe I can close the whole thing down actually. I think I'll stick with the Stanton Friedman thumbnail that I made without any number on it. So I'll just close that down. So yeah, better get moving, I suppose, and we leave Susie for another day. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes I got here, so we'll finish up slightly early, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. Supporters, of course. Come and join our Discord. Get to know us. Not so scary, are we, John?
We're actually pretty good people for the most part.
Yeah. I'll just switch to the end credits and see how we go, and we'll see how we sound. Your volume was patchy at lots of times. It wasn't like last night when we did a test run, so I don't know what's going on there. Something's changed. Here we go. Please like and share.
There has been a lot of noise out there tonight.
Maybe you got something going on outside, maybe. You haven't got a serial killer running. You don't make a sense or something. You still can be heard on the mic, by the way.